Of returns can I expect by investing directly in the stock market?
I got almost 58% in 1 year and then 107 in the second year. So almost 150% in 2 years.
How much money have you made last year?
I think last year I made around 1.1 CR. I made a lot of money in one sector, which was the defense sector and the railway sector. So I bought it at that point. It went up by 70-80% in the year.
Famous book written by Peter Lynch, One Upon Wall Street, and he talks about a lot about things that you can see in your immediate surroundings,
Of course.
which sort of helps you make better decisions of investing in the stocks.
Yeah, so this is called scuttlebutt investing. See, if I had to look at this place as such, I would look at, okay, what wires are you using, first of all, because there's only 4 big players in this space, right? So I'm like, okay, these wires are being used a lot in Mumbai. That means if Mumbai is growing, then this wire company will grow. And if this wire company grows, then I can predict that the stock price might go up a little bit.
The US election is going on. How can I look at this from a stock market investing point of view?
So have you heard of this term called de-dollarization?
Yeah.
I think that would trigger one of the biggest financial meltdowns in the future.
How can a war eventually lead to a stock price going up or going down?
Okay, so whenever there's a war happens, there is
Assume that I have no degree in finance. How do I get started?
I honestly believe that people overcomplicate investing.
So out of 6,000 stocks, if you had to give me a mental working model as to how do I sort of filter out the stocks that I need to invest in, what is that step-by-step methodology?
Okay, so first thing I'll tell you is,
Hey bro, what's up?
what's up?
How are you doing?
Long time no see.
You're always traveling, no? You're always in the US and all.
Yeah, man, traveling's become a little hectic now.
But thank you so much for agreeing to do this finally. I think your son is going to be watching this video in the future.
Soon.
So
Yeah.
let him understand
Yeah.
how much money have you made last year.
I think last year I made around 1.1 CR.
So 1.1 crore profit.
Yeah.
The next question I want to ask is what is the capital that you started off with? Because a lot of people might assume that,
Yeah.
okay, probably he had 50-60 lakhs,
Yeah.
right? Which he already had, and then it's easy to make it 1.1
Yeah.
CR. So can you tell us a little bit about how you started investing?
Okay. So, yeah, so I told you, right? I love numbers all the time, right? So when I was 25, 26, 27, I worked in investment banking. I understood what it meant by understanding investing in markets, increasing capital. So I understood very early on that money makes money, right? Instead of me focusing on getting 80%, 90% return, I was like, let me increase my capital as fast as possible because I want that compounding play to happen, right? Investing 10,000
So
rupees.
you were
and-
saving a lot of money.
I was saving an insane amount of money because if I invest 10,000 rupees and I'm right and I get 100% returns even in 2 years, I make 10,000. So that's not going to change my life overnight. So I said, okay, let me work hard. Let me keep investing and keep putting it into this capital and making it grow. Now, obviously, there was 2 options: either take that money, blow it away. But I also knew that the money that we were getting at that point for doing reels and all of that, very new. I knew that's not going to last because I called it stupid money. So if someone's giving it, please take it. So I took it at that point and I started investing it because I know this is not sustaining me. It will never sustain me. But what will sustain me is my goal of investing in the market. So that's when it started. Then didn't make a lot of money at that point because it was a startup. Eventually made a lot of money. Then through my creator journey, I made the most amount of money.
Okay.
So that was when the most savings came up in the Finfluencer era.
So you got 30 lakhs of capital.
Yeah.
And then you started investing in the markets.
Then I started investing. Yeah, because I think when I got the capital, then it started becoming a little easier, right? And I didn't stop working. That is something I would never do because I want to grow that capital from 30 to 50 to 70 to 100.
Yeah. I think that is the mistake that people make.
Yeah.
That they feel like if they learn how to invest,
Yeah.
then they can, just make money by investing money.
Yes.
But what they forget is that your fastest way of becoming rich is still going to be your income.
Yeah.
Right? You should never stop that inflow of money. So don't think that, okay, I'll learn investing, I'll learn trading, then I can just quit my job and retire. That's not the way, right?
Yeah.
Because if you can get a 50% hike or double your income by switching jobs,
Exactly.
what better way to make money than that?
Yes. So I keep telling people like focus on your job, get an increment, increase the income to savings ratio, I call it, right? So how much income you get versus how much you can save.
So what is your
You
savings
increase-
rate?
I went up to 50% at one point. So my expenses were barely anything. I did most of the work myself. So I had this income to savings ratio where I could save around 50% of the returns. And that started compounding faster than the market returns that I was getting.
So 1.1 CR profit you made just last year.
Just last year.
Just last year. Now, when somebody is watching this video, they might think that, okay, it's very simple. I'll make 30 lakhs of savings and then I'll start investing and then I start making crores. Is it that easy?
No, man, definitely not easy. I'll tell you the biggest problem when it comes to investing. First of all, everyone's clueless, including me. When I started with 30 lakhs or even before that, I would be honest, I joined Telegram groups, mainly these Bank Nifty call option groups. Lost a lot of money there. I could never make money in that. lost a lot of money. Then started following a lot of people to understand swing trading. You know, just following blindly. Acha, usne kharida, so I will also buy.
Basically, stock tips.
Just stock tips. And I paid for some. I looked at free stuff. I was on Twitter all the time looking at, just my search query was CMP, current market price. So then used to get all the people recommending. Like, can I learn it by myself? It's
You
not
studied
rocket
finance
science.
also.
Yeah, I studied finance. So why am I listening to someone, right? So let me figure it out myself. So then I started doing my own technical analysis. I was a fundamental guy. I was zero in technicals. So then I started learning technicals from scratch, looked at a lot of videos on YouTube, understood everything about technical analysis, and then took bets with my own money, right? I didn't do paper trading. I jumped straight into it because I wanted to burn my hands and get that pinch. Then I realized, okay, this is not very easy, right? But there is a way to make money. And then I realized it's not about technical, it's not about fundamental, it's about risk management, and it's about you fighting with yourself in the market. Whenever I said enough, I'll find another trade to make 2-3%, I'm happy. So I play like that now. So I just come in, get out quickly, come in quickly, 3%, 4%, I'm very happy, go to the next trade, and if I lose, not more than 1-2%.
In fact, the stats say that out of all the people who invest in the markets, 90% are loss making. I'm talking about traders.
Yeah.
90% are loss making.
Yeah.
Another 9% are just able to beat the FD return, which is 5-6%.
Yeah.
And only 1% of the people are able to beat FD.
Yeah.
And make the alpha, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because as I said, most of them are clueless, right? Most of them are following traders. So obviously you're bound to lose when you're following a trader because he's going to win more than you. Obvious, right?
Why?
Now,
Why is the trader
because
going
he's
to win?
already taking a position and then he's informing you about that position. And he's not going to tell you when he's exiting the position. It's not live. And even if it goes up by 3%, a lot of people do this in the market. They say, see, it went up by 3%. I'm great. I'm God. Right? But the point is it falls down. You don't know when to exit because he can never tell you that, right?
Why?
Because if he tells you exit at 3% and if it goes up another 5%, then he can't brag about that. So if you look at all the tips today, everyone talks about 3%, 5%. See, I spoke about this multi-bagger 3 years ago, right? But nobody tells you what to do when it falls, your risk management, your fear when it goes down 20%. Normal retail investor sells. Even I would sell if I look at my portfolio red. So that is where the retail investor loses a lot. That guidance of hand-holding, I mean, you should never depend on guidance and hand-holding. You do it yourself. You find it yourself. You understand what is your profit. You understand what is your happiness. And then you're happy with that. Yeah.
So can you just break down all the different types?
Okay. So I'll just tell you. I'll talk about my strategies. Okay. So I've tried everything. I do equity. Then I started doing F&O. Now in F&O, there is a breakdown.
Can you tell the difference between equity and F&O?
Yeah. So equity is like on the safer side, where there's no leverage, it's cash on cash buying. If the stock goes up 5%, you make 5%. In F&O, let's say you buy the same stock, right? And if the stock goes up by 5%, because you have 3x leverage, you would have made 15%.
Okay.
But similarly, if the stock goes down by 5%, you're losing 15% of your capital.
So that is F&O.
That is futures and options. It is basically taking leverage to play in the same market.
When you mean leverage, you mean taking like a loan. What is that intraday index? Can you just break it down? Like,
Sure.
Imagine you're talking to your son who has just turned 10 years old.
So don't do it if I ask you. But yeah, I'll tell you what to do. So we have Bank Nifty and Nifty options. Okay, these are indexes. Bank Nifty is the banking index. Nifty is our Indian index. So every week there is
For the audience here, bank index is all the bank companies
all
of
the
India
banking companies.
combined in one index.
one index.
Nifty 50 is all the top 50 companies of India combined in one index. These are the most popular indexes in India.
Yes, most traded indexes. We had 2 at one point, and
So
they
think
have
of it like a
contracts.
mutual fund which has all of these companies
Yes.
in one.
Yes.
That is what an index is.
That is what an index is. Whereas in stocks, it's not like that. Stocks, you have 1 month to play the game. So in stocks, they say today, if one stock is at 100 rupees, what will it be at the end of the month? So you have 4 weeks for that game to play out. So it can go down, it can come up, right? Those things happen.
So in indices like Bank Nifty and Nifty 50,
Yeah.
I have a 1 week time to play this guesswork.
Yes.
Whether it'll go above this number or below this number or same number.
Yes.
Whereas in individual stocks, if I'm doing for Reliance or
Yes.
ITC or whatever,
There's
then I have 1 month.
Monthly contracts, they're called. So Nifty also has 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. But most of them play 1 week because that's the highest chance of return you can get.
Okay.
So that is why most people lose money, which is the intraday buying and selling, because it's too volatile. If it goes down, it'll go down today, right? Budget day, it fell down, screwed, right?
have you lost money?
I have lost money. In fact, on the budget day, I lost money.
How much did you lose?
I think in 15 minutes, I lost 6 lakhs.
Okay. Can you tell me? Can you walk us through what happened?
I'll tell you. I had lost 5% of my capital that day. So I'd invested a good amount. And this was late in the night. I was in US at that point. And I said budget is usually an opportunity day because it's very volatile. It goes up and goes down a lot.
Correct.
So I remember the market fell on the... So sorry, this was election day, not budget day. Election day, my bad. So election day, the market fell. It fell to a point where I said, now it can't fall more. let me buy. Now I'm guessing that it'll go up. So I bought the option and saying it'll go up in a positive note. It fell more. Now, obviously, I'm in loss, but I didn't cut it. I bought more, saying it'll go up from here. I bought more. It kept going down.
Okay.
Now, obviously, next day it went up, but by then I was minus 6 lakhs. I would have not made money. But because my risk management was at fault, if I had cut my position at 2 lakhs, it would have not affected me. I would have slept peacefully. That whole night I slept in a very bad way.
Okay. 6 lakhs lost in one day.
It took me 1 month to recover that.
That money.
1 month to recover that because after election it was a little slow. And then I got so scared that I just started doing equity buying, normal equity buying, no leverage. And it took me 1 month to recover 5%.
No, actually, there's a saying, right? Like, let's say you have 100 rupees.
Yeah.
And let's say you have a 50% loss.
Yeah.
100 rupees become 50 rupees. Now, to make 50 rupees back to 100 rupees, it's not 50% growth.
No.
It's 100% growth.
Exactly.
So, it's much harder to recover money than to lose money. Losing money is very easy.
That's why capital becomes a problem after a point, right? When I had 30 lakhs, it was easier to take decisions. Now, when I have, let's say, 1 crore or 2 crore of capital, I'm very scared to invest too much. Don't go all in today. You can't become a crorepati tomorrow, overnight. It is not possible. You will lose it also in the same speed.
So, now that we've covered the dark side, now let's talk about the positives.
Okay.
Tell me what has been some of your best investments in the stock market, which has given you multi-bagger return.
In the past?
Yeah, in the past.
Okay, so I'll tell you. So last year, I made a lot of money in one sector, which was the defense sector and the railway sector. This is something I picked up much earlier. So I do this thing where I read a lot. Okay, so I was reading the manifesto.
You do this thing called read a lot.
Yeah, I do this thing called reading a lot. By the way, you'll be shocked because most people don't read in the market. They follow people and they invest according to that. So I'm saying I actually do the grunt work, right? Now, I started reading the manifestos of the parties, which is something that people don't do.
Follow him there as well. And thank you so much, guys, for watching so far. It was an incredible learning session for me. I'm not somebody who is an expert in this field. And that's why I have friends like Shashank to help me understand this incredible world of the stock market.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. And I'll see you